Rex, how are you, buddy?
Fellas, are you kidding? I'm at a major league ballpark. What's wrong
That's
with
what I'm
that?
saying. I'm saying I try and tell everybody that a guy like you, whether you were a player, a broadcaster, growing up in Fresno as a football player, every day you're humble, you have gratitude, and you come to the park ready to play, and everybody can feed off of that.
Oh, you know what? Hey, now I wish I had a little more talent. I'd like to have a little more skill. And the Yankees thought that when they picked me in the first round, 18th pick in the country. Can you believe that? But you know what? Hey, look, some of them make it, some of them don't. But by golly, I'm not ashamed of being a Yankee bust. But eventually, the cream rose to the top, and I was able to find a niche, and that niche was being a pine rider. Ride the pine for 9 wasn't a bad gig. Now, early on, when I was still young, I needed to make some money. I was getting married, and I had to make some money, so I would bug my managers. I would knock on the door, and their managerial door, if I wasn't in the lineup. And I'd say, hey, Skip, man, I'm getting married. I got to make some money. I got to play. I'm going to get this guy. And he'd go, okay, next time, Hud. Now, then after I outlived all that and finally made a little cake, then when I was in my mid-30s, I didn't want to play. I had so much fun on the bench in the dugout, man. So I was looking at my name in that lineup card. It wouldn't be on there. And I go, man, I'm going to go out there now and have some fun with my guys. So, and then God blessed me again when my first life was over as a player. He opened up the doors for broadcasting. And man, oh man, is that so much easier, fellas. It's so much easier to come to the ballpark, and that backside booty ain't as tight anymore. It's a little bit easier to talk than it is to perform at this level. But man, I'm so grateful to be on with you guys, especially in that Bay Area there in California, man. I love the Central San Joaquin Valley and everything about the Bay Area. We can't wait to get there in August.
Well, it's like bringing you home. Obviously, all your success, as you said, in the Central Valley, in Fresno, and what the Bay Area has meant to you in your career. And when you talk about going to have that personal relationship with your manager, and you want to play, because too many guys, they show up, they don't see themselves in the lineup. Hud, they put their head down, they go into the locker. You know what? There's nothing wrong with going in and discussing your playing time. It's your career. You only got one shot at this. You want to get as many at-bats. You want to get as many innings, whatever it is. Just talk about for a young player, there's nothing wrong with having good dialogue with your pitching coach, your hitting coach, or your manager.
No, and as a young player, it was important for me that my manager had an open door policy so that I could share my feelings with him whenever I felt like it. And that was part of a successful skipper. And guys, I got to tell you, I can brag about this because I had nothing to do with it. But playing for a guy named Yogi Berra, Billy Martin, Earl Weaver in my first 3 years in the majors, and then moving on playing for Buck Rogers was a great inspiration to me. He taught me a lot about baseball. And then Whitey Herzog traded for me. He quit. Red Chandies took over. I loved Red for 2 months, or actually 2 weeks, until a guy named Joe Torre came out of the Anaheim Angels booth. And he came out of the booth and managed me for another couple years. Terry Francona, Joe Madden. I mean, just the list goes on. That I'm so grateful I picked and drew from different things from these guys. But man, Joe Torre had some of the best communication skills, along with Terry Francona. And I loved all those guys, but those 2 guys in particular, when I knocked on that door, or that door was open and I would knock on it before I came in, hey, can I come in, Skip? Man, it was, what do you got, Hud? Sit down. What can I do for you? They had time. They were almost like a psychologist that could help his player, maybe a dad. I looked at him as my daddy. And Joe Torre, when Jose Oquendo, and Ozzie Smith were the combination in St. Louis, Oquendo went down, got hurt. And I was an everyday second baseman, and I could have handled that job every day. But Joe Torre went down and got Luis Alicea from AAA. And so I went in there and I asked him, hey, Joe, gosh, man, I was hoping maybe you would give me a shot at an everyday job until Oquendo got better. And he goes, Hud, man, you can do way too many things. You're too valuable for me. You're my ace in my poker hand. You could play 7 positions. You can pinch run late in the game for me in the 9th, and you can pinch hit and sometimes hit a homer. So you're way too valuable to play every day for me. And he meant it. And that's what made me feel so good about him. He pumped me up. He made me feel great. And when I left that office, man, I stand in front of a firing squad for that guy. And that's how you managers get guys to play for him. But you're right. You have to have a desire and a passion and realize that your baseball career is just like this. Now your life, you hope, is like that, but your baseball career is like that. And if you're not hungry to play, it's going to pass you by. You're going to miss it. Thank God that I was raised by great parents. Mike Noakes, a great baseball coach who graduated from Cal Berkeley. They taught him the school how to play baseball, and he taught me how to play hardball. I mean, attack the game and always hustle and to be respectful. Always be respectful of your managers. And for these young kids that don't have that, I feel sorry for them. They're going to be out sooner than they want to be.
I think about your skill set. What would you be today because of so many relievers and so little bench guys? Because we often have to remember you got to have a backup catcher too as a guy on your bench. So that really limits the guys you have and your ability, as you said, to play 7 different positions, to be able to run, to be able to supply a little power. I think guys always concentrate. They want to play one position. They want to play every day, but you can have a healthy career and make a lot of money being really versatile.
Oh, no question. And my mother helped me with that mental adjustment. She said, honey, you played every day for 10 years in the minor leaguer. I mean, as a minor leaguer. And I was a 10-year minor leaguer. And I said, yeah, Mom, but to accept my role in the big leagues, it's something that's going to take some time. She goes, you need to do it. You're a hardball player. You'll burn out as an everyday player. You'll play a lot longer, and you'll stay in the game longer. She was right. And I said, Mom, the difference between an everyday ball player and a utility guy is about $2 million, Mom. Come on, man. She goes, son, accept your role. You'll play a lot longer. And bottom line, I accepted it. When I accepted it, that was like accepting everything. Not being able to play against certain lefties, against certain guys that you can succeed against. You had to suck it up. And she said, do something while you're in that dugout. So pressure on those guys. There's pressure on everyday players, and to perform. So they don't really have the time, even though they might have the character. They didn't have the time to keep guys loose, and I did that. That was my role, and I had so much fun. In days when I started, I zipped it up, and I had to keep my focus too. And my teammates, mainly Pedro Guerrero, would go, "We're not listening to Hud. Hud's not chirping. He must be playing today." And sure enough, I was in there because you couldn't hear me chirping in the background. So I didn't really like to play late in my career. I enjoyed the other stuff. But fellas, it's the grand game for a reason. It's the grand game. It teaches you a lot about life. You got to show up every day, bring a lunch pail. I was a lunch pail guy. And look, when you're between the lines, you don't have no friends. And it's a little different in the modern game today, and that's okay. I'm happy with that. It's a little more of a gentler game. But still, the playing at this highest level against this competition, man, you better rise to the occasion or go find yourself a real job.
I know you got to get going. You got to get ready for your broadcast, but let's just quickly talk about these young Royals. It's kind of the same thing with the Athletics. A lot of struggles early. What are you seeing with these Kansas City Royals?
I see some future, and for Kansas City fans here, when I got here 12, 13 years ago, 14, I don't even know how many years I've been here now. I would use the word patience, and my partner, Ryan Lefevre, who is here a lot longer than me, would say, don't use that word anymore. Patience here in Kansas City, people are tired of hearing that because being a small market team, we had to evolve, and we had in our championship run in 14 and 15 back-to-back World Series, that was homegrown, built, and a couple of real smart trades were included there. But we're growing. We got a designated hitter named Vinny Pasquantino, who's a real deal. This guy's he's gonna be a full-time DH probably because of Nick Prado, a future Gold Glove first baseman. He looks good. So we have a couple of guys. Melendez is a full-time outfielder now. Used to be a catcher, hit 40 home runs in the minors. Last year he just broke in. We're a lot like you guys. You're breaking some guys in, some guys that you hope will be guys. And so you got to be patient with that. We're not happy that Brady Singer is supposed to be our ace. He's got an 8 ERA. So it just has not gotten off to a good start. like you want. So what do? You don't put your head down and pout. You walk in like you're hitting 300 and you're in first place. That's how you carry yourself as you're a big leaguer in this business of playing every single day for 162. Unlike any other sport, none of the other sports do what we do.
That's
You
why
have to be able to carry yourself with a positive attitude, with your chest out, your head up, and you'll have a lot more success.
That's why he fires us up. Hey, whether you're a broadcaster with the Royals, all those years I had you on with the Angels, or at the end of the year, at the end of your career as a player, it has always been an honor to have you on all my different programs. We love you here on A's Cast Live. Be well. We'll keep listening to you all the time. You're the best, my man.
Hey, how's our ballpark looking?
I've always loved Kauffman Stadium. I love it.
Oh, man. The K's a beautiful thing. Hey, and tomorrow night we're celebrating Lorenzo Cain. He's going to retire a Royal. So, look, don't feel sorry for us. We're big league ball players and having fun out here and broadcasting, and it's baseball, but you are paid to win. So we'll see. It's going to be an exciting series. Always love being on with you guys. Thank you again for having me.
We'll see you back in the Bay.
In August. I can't wait.
The man, the great Rex Hudler. Love that guy.